So we were talking about the priesthood not being able to get married in Catholicism because I realized that wasn't a part of the conversation that came up in our debate, and you made a good point about the Levitical priesthood. What were you saying?
Yeah, so in the Old Testament, the Levites actually traced they had to trace their lineage back to actually become priests. And they were allowed to have families. They were allowed to have wives. They were allowed to have children. And I think even early on, the early apostolic church, they had wives. They had children. But soon after, like in 300 AD or something like that, they started to, in Roman Catholicism, started to kind of blot that out and say, no, you guys can't do this anymore. Which doesn't necessarily make sense to me why they would do that or change that. Like, would you not want to carry on to your children this royal priesthood that we have? On top of that, like in Timothy, it describes an elder as somebody who has a family, a wife, a household that they take care of, that they look over, and that's how, in one of the ways that they actually are eligible to be an elder in the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what you're saying is the Levitical priesthood procreated.
Yes.
And also the New Testament gives prescriptions for priests with families, with wives and children. So this idea that priests can't get married is completely unbiblical. And one rebuttal that I saw that came up was that they believed that because Jesus was celibate, they too should be celibate so they can focus on the work of the ministry. And we were talking about how that is just odd because Jesus is fully satisfied within himself because he is a part of the Godhead. He's the second person of the Trinity. He doesn't need to procreate or be in a romantic relationship because God is fully satisfied within himself. Yeah. Also, a point that you brought up was that we're Jesus's creation. So, like, why would Jesus have any desire?
That would be so weird to like have some kind of like
romantic
relationship with his creation.
Yeah,
like, that would be so weird.
Like, Jesus is an elder brother, an intercessor, a father, so many things, but he's not a romantic counterpart. Yeah. He is God, the God who created everything. He's the Logos. He's the Word. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense for him to want to have a romantic relationship with us, especially if he is seeing us in a fatherly, brotherly way. Mm-hmm. And also, it was God who said, be fruitful and multiply. It was God who said, it's not good for man to be alone. It was God who has eternally existed within himself that knows how important human relationships are. And so he mandated that. And so to say that sexuality is somehow sinful, makes you less holy, isn't something that priests can partake in because Jesus didn't, I think is really just a misunderstanding of how satisfied God is within himself. I think it's a misunderstanding of the Trinity and the implications of that. And the implications of Jesus wouldn't want to procreate with us because he is our creator. And also, it just seems very anti-human, which feels demonic. Yeah. Because God ordains procreation because he looks at creation and says that it's good. So it feels very demonic. We know that Satan hates human beings. We know that Satan hates marriage. We know that Satan hates children. And so for there to be this dogma in the Catholic Church about not procreating seems satanic to me.
Yeah, it's we have to acknowledge too that we're not Jesus.
We're not Jesus.
And not everything that Jesus does doesn't mean that we can do everything that he does. Like, we can't get up off of the cross physically like he did. Like, in no way can we do that without him, right? I mean, I do believe that there's honor where people live celibate lives strictly for Jesus, but I think that that's a calling. I think that's more of a calling than anything.
It's a call, it's not a mandate, and it never has been. So, yeah, just odd, and I wish that it had come up in our debate, but very wrong, very bad.